Hey everyone, welcome back to Monterey, California. Toby Fernie here, aka the Teacher Realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty. Today I'll be going over the cost of living here in the Monterey area and going over some examples so you can get an idea of what it is going to cost you to live if you're moving to Monterey. If you are new to the channel, it is all about real estate and living here in the Monterey, California area. Likes and subscriptions are always greatly appreciated. So what do I mean exactly by the cost of living? In this video, I'll be examining some of the typical monthly expenses, such as the cost to purchase or rent real estate, utilities, groceries, restaurants, and transportation. I will not be examining things such as healthcare, as that's probably going to be pretty dependent on your employer, or entertainment, as I would imagine that will vary drastically from person to person. Good news about living in the Monterey area for entertainment is that there are tons of free outdoor activities and events that happen in the area that are not going to increase your cost of living. Let's start with groceries, because you gotta eat. Monterey has its fair share of local supermarkets such as Mi Tierra in Seaside and Nielsen Brothers in Carmel. As well, you're going to be able to find supermarkets such as Trader Joe's or Safeway. Shopping at a supermarket like Trader Joe's will likely cost you around $100 to $150 a week per person, depending on how often you eat at home and what type of foods you like to purchase. If you want to do your shopping at one of the local farmers markets or at the fish market that is down on the wharf, those are going to be higher quality foods, but it will also be a bigger hit to your wallet. I'm going to be on the conservative side here and say it's going to cost around $500 a month per person for groceries. Restaurants in the area can be very expensive depending on the town that you plan to eat in. Like any place, you're going to have your fast casual restaurants that will be less expensive. But in Monterey, Pacific Grove, Carmel by the Sea, and Pebble Beach, restaurants are on the expensive side. An average restaurant there will probably cost you between $50 to $75 per person after tip and taxes if you are getting an appetizer, main course, and a drink. Towns like Seaside, Marina, and Salinas offer more affordable restaurant options. An average restaurant in those towns will likely cost you between $30 to $50 a person. If you're going out to eat once a week, let's call it $200 a month per person on restaurant dining. On a side note, if you're looking for restaurant recommendations, take a look at the description below. I have linked 2 different videos there for my favorite dinner and brunch restaurants. Something that really surprised me when I moved to the area was the cost of utilities. Utilities in the Monterey area tend to be pricier than you would find in other parts of the country or even California. In particular, water is a limited resource on the Central Coast, so your water bill is going to be more expensive here. Your typical utilities are going to be water, electric, gas, trash, internet, and cable. For 2 people, it would be pretty typical to expend at least $75 a month on water. Electric and gas are mixed together in your PG&E bill. That's going to be probably around $60 a month for 2 people. Trash can sometimes be paid for by your landlord if you're renting. If not, that's going to be around $30 a month. And you can find plenty of internet and cable plans for around the $100 a month mark. Totaling these costs together, if you are splitting it with one other person, you're probably going to be spending around $125 to $150 a month on your utilities. One nice thing about the weather in Monterey is that it doesn't get too hot or too cold, so your utilities bill is probably going to stay pretty consistent month to month. Transportation. Oh, California, how I love you. Gas in the state of California is crazy expensive due to the taxes that are put on in order to encourage people to use public transportation and electric vehicles. There isn't much in terms of public transportation in the Monterey area outside of the public bus. If you're going to drive, the most affordable gas station that I've seen as of November 2021, you're looking at about $4.50 per gallon. I remember when petrol cost 50 cents a gallon and you could fill up your whole tank for $4.50. On a positive note, traffic is one thing that you probably will not have to deal with in the Monterey area that you do in many parts of California. Finding parking also will not be much of an issue, and there's often free parking. Monterey is also a very walkable and bike-friendly town with a bike path that stretches all the way from Marina to Pebble Beach. So there are plenty of people who live in the area that do not have vehicles that choose to walk. Another unexpected cost can be flying in and out of the Monterey airport. I do love when I get the opportunity to fly in and out of Monterey, as it's a small airport. Usually you can get through the security checkpoint in 15 minutes or less. That being said, since it is a small regional airport, flight options for places that you can go are pretty limited, and flights are usually hundreds of dollars more expensive to fly out of Monterey than you would at a larger airport such as San Jose or San Francisco. All right, let's get to the big costs in the area. Housing. Viewers from the Midwest and South, please brace yourself. The number one rule in real estate is location, location, location. When you live in the Monterey area, you are in one of the most beautiful settings in the entire country with an abundance of outdoor activities. For rentals, you're likely not going to be able to find a one-bedroom apartment for less than $2,000. Some apartment complexes in places like Seaside Marina or Salinas, you will be able to find an apartment for rent sub $2,000. But if you're looking to rent in Monterey, Pacific Grove, Carmel, or Pebble Beach, be expecting to pay north of $2,000 even for a one-bedroom or a two-bedroom apartment in a shared apartment complex. Larger apartments and houses for rent can be tough to come by, and if you're looking to rent a larger apartment or a house in some of these areas, expect to pay between the $2,500 to $4,000 mark. The interesting or not so interesting thing, depending on your perspective, is that the cost of a mortgage when you factor in the tax benefit can be around the same cost in Monterey County as it is to rent. If you have enough money saved for a down payment and you plan to stay in the area for a few years, it may make more sense to buy over rent. Just like with rentals, your most affordable areas to purchase a home are going to be Seaside Marina and Salinas. Here you will be able to find houses between the $600,000 to the $1 million mark. In Seaside, for example, in 2020, there were 196 single-family home sales. Prices ranged anywhere from $470,000 to $1,168,000 with a median sale price of $685,000. Your monthly PITI for your mortgage on a $685,000 house will probably be right around the $3,000 mark, depending on how much money you put down for a down payment and your interest rate. The most expensive towns in the area to purchase a home in are Monterey, Pacific Grove, Carmel Valley, Big Sur, Carmel, and Pebble Beach in that order. Here it can be very difficult to find any home that isn't a teardown or a fixer-upper for less than $1 million. Some homes in Pebble Beach sell upwards to the $30 million mark. Monterey proper is a good middle-of-the-road town when it comes to the cost of purchasing a home in Greater Monterey County. In 2020, there were 201 single-family home sales. Sale prices ranged from $472,000 to $6,100,000 with a median sale price of $965,000. All right, so getting to a personal example here. When I moved to the area years ago, I first started out working as a teacher. At the time, I was making $60,000 a year, living in a one-bedroom apartment in Pacific Grove, paying $1,750 a month for rent. I can tell you that my salary was not enough at that time to keep up with the pace and the cost of living here in Monterey, and I do not live a lavish lifestyle. The median salary in 2021 in Monterey is around $70,000. With the adjustment in the costs and the increase in the cost of living, I would say $70,000 is right around your break-even point. Anything more than that, you'll likely be able to live comfortably here or be able to even save some money. If you're making less than $70,000 a year here, you likely will have to eat into some savings or share your costs with somebody else. I won't lie to you, Monterey can be an expensive place to live, but if you can get past the cost of living, especially with housing, it is one of the most beautiful places to live in all of California or the country. As a resident here, I can say that I love it, and the cost of living is well worth what you get out of it. If you have any questions about real estate or living here in the area, feel free to give me a call or send me an email at toby.fernie@gmail.com. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for future content all about real estate and living here in Monterey, California.